Because basically it's like we growing up and we listening to all this and we hear about our history and then they anger us and they make us feed into it. And then we run along with the, oh man, they did all this to us and all like that. And then now you got black people hating all white people and all like that. But then it's like, once you start breaking away from that, you start asking questions, you start doing a little bit of research, you start learning more stuff. Then you learn like, oh shit, wait a minute. That wasn't really like that. They left all these parts out. All these parts actually matter to the whole story. Also learned that it was actually I think it was if I remember correctly, it was a 16-year-old girl, pregnant, black girl, that situation actually happened to. She sat on the bus, she had to go to the back of the bus, but they didn't want that to be on the on the front of everything, because at the end of the day, it was like, back at that time, black people, they had real standards, right? Marriage, man and wife, children. Wasn't gonna be no little ass 16-year-olds getting pregnant and shit. It was like, no, they don't operate like that. But in that instance, they didn't use her because they was like, no, that shit won't look right. So let's use this. And then they set this. Yo, what up, though? It's your favorite businessman, CEO Rico, on CEORicoTV.com. What's the word, my peoples? Yo, so, and my audio sound extra crisp for some reason. I don't know if it's the headphones or what. But yo, check it. So tonight, what's today? On April 11th. Hey man, we gotta have some conversations. We got some stuff we gotta hit on tonight. So as always, of course, I'm gonna always want y'all to chime in on the topics, of course. Make sure y'all hit that like button for the algorithm. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. So we about to get things moving real quick. Before we actually get moving, how was y'all week? What's been happening in y'all neck of the woods? What's been happening in y'all life? We're gonna be going over my man's. I don't know if y'all know who Charlie Kirk is, but we're about to go over my man's Charlie Kirk. I like Charlie Kirk. Me personally, just because like I see his dialogue when it comes to like people like whatever their opposing views are, and he is not scared to have the conversation, have that dialogue. So I can't do nothing but respect that. We got that. We definitely got to talk about Trump, his tariffs. Him and China, they going back and forth. So we definitely gonna dive into that. And of course, you already know we got to talk about the this big one that's been blowing up over the internet these past few days. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and get it pulled up because we're gonna hop right into it because we need to. We need to have that conversation. So give me a second. Let me get this baby pulled up real quick. I hate the way they got this all set up. Bam. All right. So let me get this pulled up real quick. We about to have this conversation, man. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Listen, before we actually dive into this topic, I have been kind of doing a little bit of searching because I was searching for a specific video that I wanted to bring to y'all for us to have a conversation about, but I couldn't find it, which is all good. However, we're gonna dive into this one. Like I say, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of a warning. You might get triggered a little bit. If you do, that's perfectly fine. However, my only request is just for us to all have a conversation like adults. That's it. Feel how you feel, say whatever you want to say, perfectly fine. Everybody can agree to disagree, perfectly fine. But let's have this conversation as adults. Let me share this screen real quick. Bam. Go ahead.
For Karmelo Anthony will be facing off with Collin County prosecutors. That's going to happen Monday morning in a courtroom. They hope to convince a judge that the 17-year-old who was accused of fatally stabbing another student during a track meet last week is entitled to a reduction of his current $1 million bond. Anthony's lawyers also visited the track where the stabbing happened today, and they did that, they tell us, to help prepare for the hearing. And only our J.D. Miles was there with them.
Attorneys Kim T. Cole and Billy Clark walked through Kirkendall Stadium Thursday, gathering evidence and surveying what last Wednesday morning was a Frisco police crime scene. An altercation between two high school track athletes led to a stabbing that resulted in one dead and another charged with murder.
We just really want to get in our clients' shoes and see what the environment was like. I know it's a beautiful day today. It wasn't anything like it was on April 2nd, but we want to see what it was, what he was going through, just kind of get an idea of, what he saw, what it looked like.
Anthony's attorneys urge the public to avoid rushing to judgment and assuming their client is guilty.
We're still praying for the family, and we also want to ensure that justice is served equally. So that's what we're hoping for.
Anthony claims he stabbed Austin Metcalf in self-defense. His attorneys say their first priority is getting the 17-year-old, who's been in the Collin County Jail for more than a week, released on bond.
Our next big step is Monday. But he's doing as best as he can under the circumstances.
Part of what they hope will convince the judge to lower the bond is their client's young age and his lack of any previous criminal history. Meanwhile, the church which hosted a vigil for Austin Metcalf has had to curtail student activities because of online security threats. Both the victims and the suspects' families also report receiving online harassment and threats. In one case, a fake 911 call sent police to their home. In a statement to CBS News Texas, Frisco's police chief tells us online threats of violence towards any person, business, school, or church are criminal offenses and will be investigated. Making false statements to cause alarm or emergency response is criminal and will also be investigated. Those responsible could face a third-degree felony and punishment of up to 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. It's reprehensible people who are committing such acts surrounding this tragedy. We are coordinating with Hope Fellowship related to the security of the upcoming service for Austin Metcalf. In Frisco, J.D. Miles, CBS News, Texas.
So, that story really blew me. And the reason why it really blew me was because first, okay. I want to come at it from this lens, right? First, I don't know why I just did that. First, I'm a dad, right? Now, when you go through life, you transition. And when you transition, your thoughts transition, your life experiences, things you encounter, all of these things, go into your brain, and with those lived experiences, your brain develops differently, right? So when I first seen that, instantly I was like, man, what? I'm like, how do you stab, like, you stab another dude? And mind you, they're teenagers. They're not grown adults. They're teenagers. So you stab a dude, take his life. And then when I was hearing the story didn't add up. It didn't add up to killing. It just didn't. You feel what I'm saying? And as I'm typing, because I'm trying to find the story that I actually read, because I wanted to have this conversation with y'all. Because as I was reading, like, even what I was reading, it still wasn't making sense, because some people, they're like, they actually are trying to defend it. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where I kind of have a issue with. Now I understand, like I said before, everybody has their own opinions, everybody has their own background experience and stuff like that. But one thing we can agree on is there's no way you can really justify this killing, like, at all. Because if we gotta squabble, if we gotta get down, we gotta get busy, cool. That's what we gotta do. But at no point throughout that interaction, especially as men, at no point throughout that interaction does it call for children, because you're not a legal adult until you're 18. But we're just gonna keep it teenagers, whatever. At no point is it okay for you to just pull out a weapon and use it in regards to a physical altercation. Like, that's not how we even operate as men. And that was my issue when it came to that, because as I was sitting there looking at it, I'm literally, and mind you, I'm a equal accountability type person. I'm all about accountability. I'm all about when you in the wrong, when you not in the wrong. I'm with it. You feel what I'm saying? But even while reading this story or watching it and then reading it, seeing people comments, there's no way, to me personally, there's no way you can actually sit back and justify this shit, right? Now, let's read the story together. Let's read this, right? So I was protecting myself. Karmelo Anthony, 4.0 student with no record, claims self-defense. In his track meet stabbing, family member says victim and his twin tried to jump him. Let's roll with that. Okay. Victim tried to jump him. Cool. Let's rock. Teenager, teenager accused of stabbing fellow high school student to death at a track meet. Police say he acted in self-defense. Warned the victim, touch me, see what happens. Seconds before the knife was rammed into the victim's chest. I want to skip past all of this, right? Because the victim was a 17-year-old at Memorial High School. It was Austin Metcalf, and then a 16-year-old. He went to what's this? Centennial High School. Karmelo Anthony moved from under his team's tent, according to the police record cited by the Dallas Morning News. Right now, because I want to go further down. All right. Let's go right here for a second. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, say Anthony had no business being there, but appeared to take offense. He opened his bag and he put his hand inside before allegedly warning Metcalf, touch me and see what happens. Witnesses would tell authorities later. Metcalf refused to back down and then called Anthony's bluff by lightly touching him. However, witnesses said Anthony didn't make a move right away. Instead, he challenged Metcalf to a fight to settle the matter then and there. That's when Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony to force him out of the tent. Seconds later, a knife plunged into Metcalf's chest. He stumbled backward, clutching his basically dog. He's basically in the process. He's in shock. He's bleeding out all. We don't even got to go into that. So now it says more than 30 people witnessed the attack. With the police saying with the black knife was used to stab Metcalf once it was in the chest. After the stabbing, Anthony reportedly tossed the knife into the bleachers, where it was later recovered by authorities. So we're gonna do long story short here. They had an altercation. Okay, now mind you, Karmelo Anthony, and mind you, this is please nobody don't get this mixed up with the actual athletic the NBA star. But my man's went to a whole different high school. Austin went to Memorial High School, two separate high schools. They was at a track meet. What's my man's name? Karmelo was over at Austin's team or whatever. He was up under their tent. Now, I played sports, right? I played sports. I played baseball. I played football. I ran indoor. Well, I practiced with indoor track. I never actually did an actual meet, but football, baseball, definitely, right? And I know when it comes to being a teenager, boys, or even girls, whatever, when it comes to sports, motherfuckers is extremely competitive against each other, especially with the other team. So it's already gonna be some tension. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying necessarily like where it needs to come to like a physical altercation, no. But there's tension. It's just a rivalry thing. That's just what it is, right? So first thing first is if you see a rival team up under like on your side of the bleachers, or in your like private space where your teammates are and all like that, you're gonna tell them, hey yo, you got to get up out of here, man. Basically, because you don't belong over in our area. Like this is where our team is, your team over there. Y'all need to go do your thing. We're gonna do our thing because we competing against each other, right? That's one. But then two, the one thing that really gets to me is why did my man's have a knife in his bag, right? And because we can say, what's wrong with him having a little knife in his bag? Because I don't know how big the knife was. I don't know if it was, yay big, bam. If it was like hunting knife, don't know. It could have been one of the little knives that you stick in your pocket. It got the bottle top, popper, like the little corkscrew hookup. It could have been one of those. I don't know. I haven't seen anything in regards to in regards to the knives, but even if you did have the knife in there, okay. If according to the story, which like I said, I've seen multiple stories, If a physical altercation was about to pop off, why pull out the knife? That's like my genuine question. Why pull out the knife? Right? Because what's wrong with getting down and throwing hands? Like, what's wrong with this? This is the part, because this is a senseless killing for nothing. No way, shape, or form is this shit okay. And the crazy thing is, people are turning it into a race thing, a black and white thing. And that's where it's like, sometimes it's like, bro, y'all really don't, y'all just don't get it. Because in that instance, that wasn't a race thing. But I want to dive into some more of what other people are saying to paint my point. So here it says, he stated that Anthony defended himself against violent aggressors. He described the victim and his twin brother as bullies, alleging they tried to jump him, took Anthony's belongings, broke his phone, and stumped on it. Now, I believe this guy is somebody in his family, Carmelo Anthony's family. So this is what he posted. He said, truth about Carmelo. Let's set the record straight. Enough with the misinformation. Let's talk about facts. It's normal for students from different schools to gather under another school's tent. I don't know where that's normal at. Let me blow this up. I want y'all to see this too. I don't know where that's normal at, because never with me playing sports, I'm gonna ask my babe, because she played sports. She was all state, all city, all that shit. And I'm gonna ask her, was it ever a point in time where you went on the opposing teams, bleachers, bench, whatever, to go chill or whatever? Because in my head, she even ran track. So I'm gonna ask her in regards to track. Have you ever did that? Because right now that's not making sense. So he said that's normal. Carmelo had friends there. He wasn't trespassing or looking for trouble. Okay, we gonna touch back on that. The claim that one of the twins had never seen Carmelo before, a blatant lie. Okay. No student has the right to remove another student from a school-owned tent. The school owns the tent, not the twins. True. Carmelo is a track athlete. The twins are not. He wasn't even expecting to see them there. Okay. Now, here's what they don't want you to know. The twins didn't just ask him to leave, they tried to jump him. Okay. Before attacking him, they tried to take his belongings, broke his phone, and stomped on it. Okay. The twins are known bullies. So ask yourself, if two 200+ pound attackers came at your child, what would you expect them to do? And yet, despite everything, the media is trying to destroy Carmelo's name. They keep posting a picture of him with an airsoft gun. I've never seen that picture whatsoever. Not even a real firearm, to manipulate public perception. Why? Because they want to paint him out as a criminal instead of a victim. Let's talk about who Carmelo really is. A respectful, well-mannered young man, a 4.0 student with multiple college offers, a kid with zero criminal history, not even a blemish, a son raised in a loving home by parents who taught him right from wrong. A life was lost, and that is tragic. But that's also tragic. But what's also tragic is the way the media is twisting this story, to fit their own agenda. Now, here's one thing we know. Listen. All my black people, bro. Let me blow myself back up. For all my black people, I want y'all to sit here. We gonna have this real motherfucking conversation right here. Out of all the fucking years, we know the agenda in general on what the media does. The media is going to report whatever they want to report. They're going to paint a narrative that they want to paint. It's their shit. That's what the fuck they going to do. But here's what we have the complete opportunity and control, and the ability and the control on what to do. Not give them a reason, or not give them anything for them to say about us as a people. But yet we continue over and over again to do certain shit to give them the ability to paint out a certain narrative or a certain picture on us. Right? No way. I understand what Dog is trying to say here, but you cannot justify this. Let's dive into it on the reasons on why. One, If it's first off, you and they shit. The moment that they say, yo, you gotta go, it's two things you gonna do. Now, mind you, I'm not even gonna say like a black thing. I'm just gonna say like a teenager with testosterone going through their body. What you do something then? Move me out of this tent then, because if we are competing against each other, I don't want to be over in your area. Now, real quick, they say he had friends over there. If you got friends over there, why the fuck is you worried about getting jumped? Why you worried about getting jumped? I got friends over here, homie. So if these twins trying to do anything to me, guess what? I got homeboys already over here. We can get it popping. I got backup already. You feel what I'm saying? And here's my thing. If you were born in poverty, right? We grow up a certain way. It's a certain way that we grow up. We grow up, rough, where we a lot of times we got to get busy. We got to throw hands. We live in some real fucked up environments. We hear gunshots. We hear all we live that. So when they try to paint a certain narrative here, like just what my man's talking about, we can't necessarily fall and dive into that bullshit because we already know how it is from where we come from. So if my man's is already going over here, because I even seen somewhere they said that the twins did know him before this incident. And supposedly they said that the twins tried to fight him before, or they tried to rush him or some shit like that. It's like, okay, if that's the case, and my man's one know no type of drama shit, right? Why did my man's have a knife at the track meet? Like, what's the purpose of the knife being in his book bag? That's the one thing, right? But another thing that I want to say too is these are teenagers, and no matter what nobody said, because I've seen some people try to, like I said, they try to create this shit and make it a race thing, bro. My man's is about to go to jail and go to prison, bro. This 16-year-old kid is about to be done. 17-year-old kid, he's gone. I don't care what nobody can say. My dog, somebody's son is dead and somebody's son is going to prison. While other motherfuckers is trying to make it a race thing, he going to prison, bro. Now, granted, I understand, the entire they still going with the whole investigation. They still got to go fight it. I get it. But that's the point that we missing here. My man's it's potential. He's about to go to prison. 16. And it's a good chance they might try to try him as an adult. Do y'all know the type of the type of torment my man's is about to go through? Like, I feel bad for the entire situation, but as a dad, bro, there's no way in hell my son is about to be carrying around some shit like this. And if they had a situation before, my son gonna have to come holler at me because my son need to let me know, yo, hey, pops, dad, situation popped off. This what happened with these dudes. These twins tried to get at me. Well, don't worry about it, son. You already, you know what I'm saying? Like we can handle that situation. If he had to track me, hey, dad, they up here, they trying to do something. Son, I'm on my way. Don't even trip. Just go ahead and get away from them. Don't even trip. You feel? Get away from them. Walk the fuck away. Get away from them. If they're aggressing you, get the fuck away from them. Like we have to start instilling into our own children, especially our boys. Bro, it's okay to walk the fuck away. It's okay. You don't like no way, shape, or form do you got to go take a nigga life, bro. Especially in this case, like, bro, if y'all niggas got to get busy, y'all got to throw hands, do it. Throw hands and get that shit over with. But to kill a nigga, to stab a nigga in the chest, all because he grabbed you up, I can't support that shit, bro. Somebody's son is dead, and somebody's son going to fucking prison. I can't support that shit, bro. And it's so many people out here trying to make that shit into this whole race thing, bro. And it's killing me because so much shit that they told us throughout history has been it's kind of been bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? Like they haven't gave us the whole story. And in a lot of cases, what I've been seeing, in so many cases, bro, motherfuckers have been trying to get us to move emotionally, and that's all we've been running off of. We ain't even been running off the facts. We've been running off emotions, and that I can't operate like that. Like that shit don't even resonate with me to move off emotion no more. Like I remember in the past, I used to be like that. I used to run off emotions. You feel what I'm saying? It was logic, but it was emotions too, because a lot of us grew up around a whole bunch of women, all like that. So we kind of operate off some emotional shit. I had to get the fuck away from that, bro, because I see the way women move. I'm about to bring up another one for y'all. Hold on. Still dealing with the same thing. Because when I seen it, I was like, bro, wait, what? Like, that's how y'all like women is just that's how we moving. Let me bring this up for y'all, man. Let me bring this up. Hold on. Now, I haven't even like fully reviewed this particular this video yet. So we're gonna do it together. We're gonna dive into it together.
Fox Soul challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow.
Gone and I have died.
It's full of damn lies. This is a tragic situation where a young man lost his life, yes. But young Karmelo.
We started.
Here's
All right, here
Quan
we go. Let's go.
LX.
Charles, we just watched a segment here discussing the tragic loss of life of a young high school student in Frisco, Texas at a track meet. And watching that newscast, it upsets me because that newscast is full of damn lies. This is a tragic situation where a young man lost his life, yes. But young Karmelo Anthony, in this case, the young man who's been charged with murder, he did not assault anyone in the beginning. He didn't start this fight. The young man approached him with his brother, threatening Karmelo to move out of a spot that was not assigned to anybody. Where Karmelo was sitting, he had a right to be sitting. There was no assigned seating anywhere in the stadium that excluded students from sitting in certain areas. Then when they went to Karmelo, he was threatened by both brothers. And he told them, don't put your hands on me. And they threatened to put their hands on him. And he...
Do you see what I'm saying? Off rip, bro. He's trying to justify this shit. He say, yeah, it's somebody lost their life, but, and now he's going into the justification of the stabbing. I understand where he coming from, far as, you don't got no right to tell nobody and all that. Okay, I get it. I get that. You right. They don't have a right to say, hey, bro, you don't got no right to be around here. I get all that. I get it.
told them, if you put your hands on me, watch what happens. The white kid.
Let me ask y'all a question. If a motherfucker say, hey, if you don't get from around here, we gonna do something to you. If you were scared for your life, why wouldn't you get up and leave? That's my question. Why wouldn't you get up and leave? And that's real talk. Why wouldn't you get up and leave? It's okay to leave. It's okay to get away from a situation if you actually feel scared, bro. It's okay.
In this case, punched Karmelo in the face. He didn't push him, he punched him in the face. And then that young man defended himself and
fuck that. He ain't defend shit. He killed my mans. Because if a motherfucker, bro, if you in school and a motherfucker run up on you and punch you in your shit, what you gonna do? You gonna get up and get busy. Like, bro, we all been in school before, dog. We all been in high school. Motherfuckers talking, wolfing off at the mouth, whatever. What up, though, nigga? Let's get it. Let's get busy. What up? That's what you would do, right? But now he's gonna go into justifying on saying, oh, he defended himself, so he stabbed him. Man, if you don't get the fuck on with that, you basically, as adults, kids are always watching us, watching how we move, watching how we operate, listening to what we say, what we do, all of that. And what you basically about to do is you about to be on national TV basically telling other kids that if somebody punches you, you have the right to turn around and kill them. That's basically what you're saying. Because you justifying that. And as a man, as a dad, all that, I ain't standing 10 toes with you on that bullshit, homie. Any man that can get up here and sit here and say that, hey, if a dude punch you, you can turn around and use lethal force against them. That's called a bitch. Out any way, shape, or form, bro. That's called a bitch. And as men, when do we start teaching the younger men of the future? Hey, bro, if you gotta get busy with some, if you gotta throw hands, don't throw hands. If somebody punch you, push you, is an aggressor towards you, you don't gotta fight. You can pull out a weapon. That bitch shit up, dog.
Unfortunately, a young student lost his life. But Charles, in the state of Texas, you have a right to stand your ground. And if you are the victim of a vicious attack, you can use deadly force if necessary to protect yourself and your life to stop you from becoming a further victim of an assault or a crime. Why is this young man in jail when he didn't start it? He didn't approach anyone. They approached him. They used profane language toward him. They threatened him and then assaulted him, and he defended himself. Why is he in jail? He defended himself from a vicious attack and assault. So this young man, in my opinion, should not be in jail. Teach your children. Keep your hands to yourself. That's what needs to be taught here. And to tell this young brother to give up your seat, give me your seat, this ain't no damn Rosa Parks era. You just can't go to a young.
You see what I'm saying? You said they trying to turn it to that race shit. You see, this ain't no Rosa Parks. Remember how I was just sitting here saying earlier that they don't tell us the whole story about history. You know, the one thing that they didn't tell us about the whole Rosa Parks and the whole bus boycott, that whole Rosa Parks shit, that shit was all a setup. They planned that whole thing for it to go that way. It wasn't like it was a natural thing that she was just on the bus and then, hey, you got to get back. Oh, I ain't giving them my. No, they planned it. Why they didn't tell us that? Because basically it's like we growing up and we listening to all this and we hear about our history and then they anger us and they make us feed into it. And then we run along with the, oh man, they did all this to us and all like that. And then now you got black people hating all white people and all like that. But then it's like, once you start breaking away from that, you start asking questions, you start doing a little bit of research, you start learning more stuff. Then you learn like, oh shit, wait a minute. That wasn't really like that. They left all these parts out. All these parts actually matter to the whole story. Also learned that it was actually I think it was if I remember correctly, it was a 16-year-old girl, pregnant, black girl, that situation actually happened to. She sat on the bus, she had to go to the back of the bus, but they didn't want that to be on the on the front of everything, because at the end of the day, it was like, back at that time, black people, they had real standards, right? Marriage, man and wife, children. Wasn't gonna be no little ass 16-year-olds getting pregnant and shit. It was like, no, they don't operate like that. But in that instance, they didn't use her because they was like, no, that shit won't look right. So let's use this. And then they set this shit up. But now he's about to go into it and talk about it. Nobody told dog he couldn't sit there just because he couldn't sit. No, motherfucker, this ain't your team over here. Go with your team. Even my question to y'all is this: do y'all think that this same scenario would have happened if it was two black kids, two black teenagers? Because we know the media, they're gonna paint a certain narrative. We know that. Since motherfuckers gonna feed into it, all right, cool, whatever. If it was two black students, would they still do all this? And then let me ask y'all another question. Did y'all know that they started a GoFundMe for Karmelo Anthony, and they also started a GoFundMe for Austin Metcalf. But at first, I think they wanted to raise like 50 grand for the legal fees. Do y'all know they raised 300,000 for his legal fees? That breaks me off into a whole nother segment, because in a whole nother thought process, because we can come together for the craziest of things. Now, I'm not saying that motherfuckers is wrong for coming together, putting their money together for his legal defense. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But why can't we come together and put together funds to create our own infrastructure to where we can have our family units back together? We can have our children being raised in the same household as both parents. We can have masculine men teaching their sons how to handle certain situations, have emotional intelligence, have situational awareness to where it's like, if a situation is popping off, son, get the fuck away from it. Because the last thing we want to do is hurt somebody or get hurt, right? Because let's hypothetically say same situation went down, but instead of Karmelo being able to walk away, the twin brother also had a weapon and he used it. Now, what would y'all say? Because in that case, the brother will be in self-defense. You stabbed his brother. So at that point, would the brother now be justified? Should the brother be in prison because it was self-defense as well? You stabbed his brother, so it's like, oh shit, you attacking my brother. Now, then what? Let's finish this, man, because we got another thing to look
Young
at.
black man and say, give up your seat. He had a right to sit there. And so that brother had his back of the bus moment and refused to give up his seat, and it cost that young white kid his life.
I rarely say this, Quanell. I sometimes internalize it, but shame on you. How absolutely despicable for you to sit here and try to draw this false equivalency between Rosa Parks and this scumbag murderer, right? Shame on you for living a life defined by make-believe racial grievance that you seek a pulpit to lie to people. And let's talk about those lies. Even if you assume everything that is coming out of the Karmelo Anthony camp, even if you assume all of that is true, under the laws of the state of Texas, he is still absolutely guilty of murder, period. Like, you can assume all the fabrications are true. It's still murder, right? You do not have a right to use deadly force in response to a shove or a punch. Now, mind you, all the witness statements are saying it was a shove that was goaded, but let's assume everyone's lying and this murderer is telling the truth. You still can't, because the scenario, what you're advocating for, and pulling Rosa Parks into, is that every time someone walks through a club and someone shoves them or bumps them, you can pull out a knife and stab them in the heart and kill them. Right. And I have no doubt that more is going to come out of Karmelo Anthony. That more evidence. Now, there are rumors that I don't want to regurgitate.
Oh, please do.
No.
Please do.
Let's talk about what has been sold. That you sent me this weekend when we were discussing it. You sent me the statement by the police chief that turned out to be just fabricated. Somebody out there making believe the FBI is now involved, right? And that people are regurgitating all over social media. And it's all driven on racial lines. You are the one that was calling for Daniel Penny to go to prison for life. Now, mind you, we have this new spectacular game in America, right, where we play white man always bad and evil, black man always good, no matter what happens. The truth is, my feelings on this, if it was a white young man who brought a knife to school, went to someone else's tent, started being a jackleg, refused to move out, and then pulled out a knife and jabbed it in someone's heart, I would call him a murderer. And if a white kid did exactly what Karmelo Anthony did to a black kid, you would be out here marching in the streets.
Oh, no, I would not be.
Burning your life through your teeth.
George Zimmerman.
Dog, listen. Man, let's move along, man. 'Cause this is some bullshit. Let's move along to this, man. Now, this is the video I was trying to find. And the reason I was trying to find this video is because you gotta listen to what she's saying. And when you listen to what she's saying, like, you know what? I'm just gonna let y'all see. Hold on. Gotta get this sound. Hold on. Where my sound at? Where is my sound at? Come on, man. No, hold on 2 seconds. Let me figure this out. Why the sound not coming in? There we go. All right, I got you. All right, I figured it out. I found where the damn sound button was. Bam, bam. We gotta start this over. Damn, my bad, y'all.
That I don't want you in my space. I don't want you touching me.
Start over just
This
in
is
case.
so
y'all don't hear it.
disturbing.
Me believe or feel any kind of sympathy for Austin Metcalf at all. He put his hands on that young man when he should have kept them hands to himself. When the young man told him, touch me and see, you bet not touch me, that meant that I don't want you in my space. I don't want you touching me. Rosa Parks days is over. You cannot think that
Victim.
you can move somebody out of a seat that you don't own.
Victim.
And think that it's going to be okay. And you can't determine how I'm going to retaliate on you when you put your hands on me in an aggressive manner. Austin Metcalf got exactly what he deserved. Point blank, period. It's time out for feeling sorry for somebody's feelings or feeling emotional about somebody's feelings. Austin Metcalf should have kept his damn hands to himself.
What? Did y'all just hear what the fuck she said? Bro, you gotta be kidding me. Listen, remember the videos I did? I want to say, I don't know, probably sometimes last month or something like that. When the whole boycott thing was going on. And remember I said that they always putting our women out front on display and they always making us look bad. This is a perfect fucking example on what I was talking about. Perfect example. This woman said that Austin got exactly what he deserved. You get what you deserve. So wait. A simple physical altercation. You telling me that's justification to kill a motherfucker? Teenagers. That's where we at. This is one of those reasons on why so many men are having this conversation, not just this conversation, but in general. Women need to kind of like stay, they need to stay in a whole nother lane. This is not a lane for a woman to even be talking about because that shit right there is not okay. Not okay. He got what he deserved. The fuck is she talking about? This is why women cannot raise boys into men. This is why they don't like when boys get to a certain age, they need to be with their motherfucking daddy. They need to be around strong male influence, strong male role models, point blank, period. They don't need to be around women because shit like this is what goes on. Emotional ass creatures, and then they go out there and make a dumbass decision, and now my man's is potentially gonna go to jail for almost the rest of his fucking life. And if he gets charged with murder, manslaughter, whatever, that's a felony on his record. And the rest of his life is now done. The 4.0, the college, financial aid, all that shit is done. No great job in the future. It's gonna be extremely hard for him to get a great job in the future, all because of one emotional dumbass decision. Because when they do that background check and they look and see felon, murder, that is a violent crime. Businesses do not want violent people in they. Listen, we can all say with the whole, oh, you get a second chance and all. No, you don't. Stop believing that bullshit, bro. People judge and they judge hard. They judge. Oh, you stabbed somebody? Oh, you killed somebody? You went to jail for murder? Oh no, we don't want you around here. You're not gonna be in a corporate place like this. No. Like, man, come on, dog. Shit is pissing me off. Like so bad, so bad, dog. Man, listen. I'm about to play this last one for y'all. We about to listen. Charleston White has some words in regards to this, man. So I want to bring that up so y'all can see that. Hold on. I'm getting spiffy with these transitions, boy. Hold on. Let's play. We'll see what Charleston got to say, man.
By Karmelo Anthony.
Yeah. My heart goes out to the family.
They trying to make this a race issue, and this is a right or wrong issue.
Okay. So no, real quick, I like where you're going on this because I'm not even trying to race bait or anything. People are making this about black and white, black and white. You see that they're trying to make this kind of like a Trayvon Martin kind of, you know, they're talking about it. But where do you?
It is. Trayvon Martin was an angry black kid that had to be sent to his father because he lacked discipline, grew up in a home with his single mother. Any well-behaved kid with manners that had respect of adults, once George Zimmerman approached him, whether he's right or wrong, as a child, this is an adult. You get off the phone with that fat-ass girlfriend you trying to fuck, you call your dad and say, hey, Dad, it's an adult around here to just stop me. He says he's calling the police. Rather than doing that, he had an attitude because as young black males in this country, we have an authority problem because we walking around angry, displaced from our father's issues, but we resent our.
Yo, so real quick, right? I agree with Charleston, but at the same time, I disagree with Charleston, right? I agree with him in the sense of, okay, because I gotta really think about it. I agree with him far as we got a problem with authority, because I know for a fact I got a problem with authority, and that's something I've been working to get over with, but I don't really like authoritative, like you ain't gonna tell me what the fuck to do. That's one. Two, when he talking about George Zimmerman walking up to Trayvon and basically he's interjecting and he fucking with the kid. The reason why I have to agree with him on the situation is because if Trayvon would have just been cool, calm, and collective, yes sir, no sir, hey, let me get my dad on the phone, sir. You know, I don't want no issue, stuff like that. It's a very good chance Trayvon would have still been here. Secondly, George Zimmerman should have been got dealt with because he was wrong in that situation. But still, hear me out. In some situations, man, we really got to put away the pride. We really got to put away a lot of that shit in order for us to make it back home, because that's the real goal. Make it back home. So that's why I say I can agree with him, but a part of me want to disagree, but I understand. I get it.
Mothers.
That's true.
So we're a ticking time bomb. And Trayvon Martin could fight. So that's why I say you be careful approaching some of these young kids. What a 13-year-old will kick a 40-year-old's ass.
That's true.
And that's what happened in that situation. He underestimated this kid, and he was looking for trouble. But by law, he was right. And he was judged by his peers. So we can't say nothing once you're judged by your peers.
Well, what do you think's going to happen in this Austin Metcalf thing? You think he's
Metcalf ass go, well, no, that boy going to jail.
Karmelo Anthony's going to go to jail.
Karmelo going to jail. Because listen, you cannot bring a weapon to school.
Yeah.
So you can't say I was
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense, because if you are afraid the day before where you have to take a weapon to school, why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher that's bringing these kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values, you tell the teacher. Somebody fucking with you, you tell the teacher. Let the teachers know, so when y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So where's the documentation to say this is self-defense?
He cooking, because he's absolutely right. You let people know, you let the adults know, and then that way, if anything pop off, hey, listen, I told the teacher, I told the principal, I let my coach know, situations been popping off, I got problems with homie, whatever. So that way, at that point, it's like, okay, you're literally have been defending yourself against these people who've been coming at you. You've been trying to protect yourself. So now it would be a little bit more on your side.
It's a premeditated crime because you took a weapon in fear. Anticipating to use it.
That was premeditated, though.
And it's at a track meet. You getting ready to run track with other kids and you got a knife on you. No, man, you got to go to jail. You got to go. There's no, so when is it all right to kill the bully? I don't give a fuck what the bully did. He don't have a right to die.
No.
Man, you weak, man. That's why I say teach the kids how to deal with bullies and this won't happen. We're all not equal. Even in nature, you can be feeding a flock of birds. There's going to always be one bird to come in and take the food from the. This is nature. Yeah. You cannot get rid of bullies. Teach the kids how to deal with them. Bullies build character. You go to work, it's going to be a bully supervisor, a bully co-worker. You cannot get rid of the bully. Teach our children conflict resolution. Everything don't have to end in violence. But when you come from the black culture, everything is disputed in violence.
Yeah, that is the problem, though. That's how you.
It's the culture.
That's the culture. Is that's how they saw.
He cooking, bro. He is absolutely cooking. Here's the thing that I actually forgot about. I really forgot about this. When I was younger, I actually had a bully, bro. I forgot about this motherfucker, dog. But this story and listening to this, I remembered. I think I was give y'all this quick story. I think I was like 12. Somewhere like in that 8 to 12 range, somewhere in there. And the dude, his name was Jamal. Big fat motherfucker, dog. And he was on the spectrum, bro. Like he was like, and he always bounced the basketball, right? But he was real big and fat. And dog literally will come through and just fuck with me. I'm talking like just grab me up. You know what I'm saying? Like hem me up type shit. And I had to learn how to overcome that, bro. And like of course, you know, being young, now mind you, my dad was in prison. You know, my stepdad really wasn't no help in the situation, nothing like that or whatever. So never like fully prepared me like for shit like that. But it definitely taught me how to overcome some shit. Now, my mom told me, she was like, pick up a bottle and hit his ass upside the head type situation. And I ain't gonna lie, I think I grabbed the bottle one time and I was about to hit him with it. You feel what I'm saying? Cause like, hey, like when I tell you, like it was a huge size difference, age difference, height difference, everything. Dog had me in every single way. But I if I remember correctly, I think once I grabbed that bottle and I was about to crack his ass with it, I think that's when he stopped. Moral of the story is that situation still taught me something. Like when men face certain things in life, we have to learn how to overcome that shit because, bro, that's kind of what being a man is. We gonna always face challenges and we have to overcome that shit. We have to figure out a way to overcome it because life is not easy. Life is not a fairy tale. It's not a fucking walk in the park. It ain't none of that. Life be lifing, my nigga. Life be lifing. You think you could just scapegoat and just, oh, this person fuck with me, let me just go kill him. Or this person fuck with me, let me just go beat his ass. Like, no, bro. This shit is not okay. It's not okay at all. What y'all think about this, man? Like, because this whole situation really just threw me. I ain't gonna lie, when I first heard about it, read about it, I ain't gonna lie, I got a little emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell anybody, I'm not an emotional person, like for real. But when it comes to my kids, dog, when it comes to my family, they made this little gooey shit inside my heart, and I don't like it. Like I tell anybody, I don't like it, but it is what it is. I got a soft spot for my family, bro. So yeah, that really hit a spot.